Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is ThePromG and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, what for you guys today is my top 5 favorite manga reads of 2020. Now, first things first, I just want to start off this video by saying Happy New Year. We finally made it to 2021. I'm very excited for everything to come in this coming year. And I want to thank you guys for an absolutely amazing 2020 here on YouTube. I really didn't expect so much support for my first year here on MangaTube, but here we are 1 year later with over 3,000 subscribers. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. But today I'm going to be going over my top 5 favorite manga reads of 2020. Now, I was hesitant to do a video like this because I thought it'd be really similar to like my top 10 manga list, which I've already done. So I decided to throw in a little bit of a twist for this video, and that's going to be my top 5 series that I thought were the most fun to read, or I had the most enjoyable time reading through this year. So while I read some of my absolute favorite series of all time, specifically like Eden It's an Endless World, I wouldn't really classify that as a fun series because it's very, dark, full of politics and stuff like that. It's not really a fun read, even though it is one of my favorites of all time. So I'm going to be narrowing down the list to the top 5 series that I just had an absolute blast reading this year. So if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So coming up first at the number 5 spot, we have Inio Asano's Dead Demons Dead Destruction. This year I went out of my way to read every single Inio Asano manga that's been put out physically in English, and I would say that Dead Demons is not only my favorite, but also the manga that had the most fun reading this year. Now when you compare this manga to other series such as Girl on the Shore and Goodnight Pun, I mean, this is definitely one of his more upbeat and I guess happy series. Even though there are definitely some darker things going on with the plot, with the aliens just being mass slaughtered and a lot of politics, this series just has such zany and lovable characters, as well as a very lighthearted plot when it just kind of covers the slice of life with the characters. And I think that Dead Demons is truly Inio Asano at his best because this series isn't overly edgy or angsty like series like Girl on the Shore and Nijigahara Holograph, but it's just so interesting. The story and the characters are all done very, very well. And overall, I thought that this series was just an absolute blast. I read the first 8 volumes, all that's out right now, and I cannot wait to get my hands on the 9th volume when I think it comes out in January. So that's this month, and I'm really looking forward to picking up that volume when I get my hands on it. Next up, at the number 4 spot, we have Blade of the Immortal by Hiroaki Samura. Now, I believe that in my top 10 manga list I did several months ago, I think Blade of the Immortal charted in at number 7. But the reason that this is higher up on my top 5 list, I guess, for this video is that this manga especially was just such a unique and fun journey from beginning to end. Of course, Blade of the Immortal following our main character Manji, who is a samurai who did some bad stuff in the past. I think killed like 100 police officers, but he has these worms that make him immortal, so he pledges the rest of his life to making up the wrongs with rights by killing 1,000 bad guys. And he joins forces with a teenage girl named Rin who wants vengeance for her family who was murdered by the Ito Ryu. And like I said earlier, this manga is just so unique and memorable. Every single fight I can recall pretty well from this manga, mostly. They're just so well choreographed, especially the one where Manji's in that room with that one guy with a kid. I probably explained that in a really whack way, but if you guys read the series, you probably know what I'm talking about. The art style is also super gritty. I think that this gritty sketch-like art style really plays into some of the action when it's done right. Also, I gotta mention characters like Magatsu, Shira, and Anatsu. I mean, they're just such memorable, badass characters that just fly right off the page. Especially Shira and Anatsu, I mean, they're just such memorable, badass antagonists that really stuck with me after I finished this series, and I don't know if I've read any other antagonists that quite stack up to those two. Blade of the Immortal is packed to the brim with these absolutely amazing and memorable moments, and that's the reason why it's at my number 4 spot for my top 5 most fun reads of 2020. Alright, coming in at the number 3 spot, we have the first sports manga I think I've ever read to completion, and then of course it would have to be Slam Dunk by Takiko Inoue. Now most of you guys probably know this because I've said it in past videos, but I'm a huge fan of sports such as football and basketball. And with 2020 being such a crappy year, we lost out on a lot of sports in the first half of this year, most notably March Madness college basketball. I mean, that's one of the things I look forward to every single year. And unfortunately, we got robbed of that because of coronavirus. But in order to fill that huge basketball-shaped void in my soul, I picked up all of Slam Dunk this year and read through it, and I had an absolute blast reading this series. Slam Dunk really had everything that I could have wanted in a sports series. I mean, not only did it have like amazing basketball action, the games were super intense and really keep the pages flying, but also the characters were really well done. Some of them were really funny, and some of them were also very interesting with their backstories, especially Miyagi, who I think he got into some trouble in high school, stopped playing basketball, and then came back his senior year and just really remember that passion that he once had for basketball. But yeah, Slam Dunk was just an absolutely awesome and really fun read that filled that need for sports this year in my life. And obviously sports are mostly back. The NFL season is wrapping up, which I'm very glad we even got to see the NFL this year. But my first read through of Slam Dunk was some of the most fun I've ever had reading manga, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have, of course, Berserk. Now, this is one of the main series that I picked up right at the beginning of quarantine when everybody was bored and really didn't know what to do. But luckily for me, I found an amazing deal for the first 37 volumes of Berserk, and I had an absolute blast binging through the series at the beginning of quarantine. Now, I said at the very beginning of the video that I'd be kind of disqualifying, I guess, some of the more darker series that weren't necessarily fun, and Berserk is definitely one of the most dark series that I've ever read. You might be asking yourself, what makes Berserk so fun to read then? And to answer that question simply, the Golden Age arc. I mean, this is the best manga that I've ever read. The first 16 volumes, or I guess volumes 4 to 16 is the Golden Age arc. But just seeing the way that Guts' character was built up, as well as this absolute insane antagonist Griffith, personally my favorite manga antagonist of all time. I mean, it was just so thrilling to read, and I really could not find a way to put this series down. And if you know me, you know that I love some dark fantasy and some war arcs, and man, Berserk really does have all of that with some absolutely insane artwork and action to boot. And while the Falcon of the Millennium and Fantasia arcs really pale in comparison compared to the first 2 or 3 arcs, I still found myself really enjoying this series so much, and that's the reason that's at my number 2 spot for my favorite manga of this year. And finally, coming in at my number 1 highly coveted spot of my top 5 manga list that I've read this year, by far the most fun that I've ever had reading manga goes to Gans, my favorite series of all time. I'm sure no real surprises with this manga right here. Throughout this year, I've said it time and time again to the point of it kind of becoming a meme on the channel, but I absolutely love Gans more than any series that I've ever read, and there are several reasons why this is the most fun I've ever had reading manga, especially this year. Now, I think I started collecting Gans early this year. I think I was a freshman in college, actually, at this point, and something just clicked in my mind one day, and I decided, you know what, I really hate having money. I want to collect the Gans singles. So during this time, I was spending an insane amount of time just searching the web, every single corner of the internet, looking for deals on each of the 37 volumes. And when you're spending that much time and money on these volumes, it really does make you appreciate the series more, especially each individual volume. So every time I'd order a Gans volume, I just could not wait to get it in the mail and read it. And once I'd amassed, a good amount of volumes, I think like the first 16, I just absolutely breezed through it because it's just such an enjoyable ride. The mind of Hiroya Oku is very imaginative and kind of scary at times, and that's what makes Gans such an amazing ride. You never really know what's going to happen next. It's just absolutely absurd from start to finish. Now, if you've been around the channel for a while, then you know I did that April Fool's Gans manga review, but a lot of you guys have been asking for a real Gans manga review, and I plan on doing one sometime this year. I want to do a full reread of Gans because the series is a very quick read, so I think I can manage it in a decent amount of time and give you guys a real hearty manga review for my favorite series of all time. But until then, you guys are just gonna have to patiently wait and just trust the process. But that's gonna wrap up this video for my top 5 favorite manga reads of 2020, the most fun I've had reading manga this year. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. I want to thank you guys again for an absolutely amazing 2020, and here's to an even better 2021. I really cannot wait to see what is in store for us as we continue to grow, and yeah, I'm really excited for what the future holds. Anyways guys, this has been ThePromG. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, hope to catch you in the next one.